Hey everybody, so I know it's been a week since my last video. I've recorded a little bit in between here and there, but I have not edited any of it. I've actually done a lot of thrifting here, and I decided I'm going to do one big group review about that and try to get as much done in one video as I can. So here we go, we're going to jump into it. So today, or yesterday rather, I went by Goodwill. A lot of these are from Goodwill, as you can imagine. I picked up this. I'll have the name up right here. It's a Rebel Blaster. It's really cool. It's like a little hand crossbow, a little pistol crossbow, if you will. And it is band powered. I know I tend to have some issues figuring out if something is band powered or not, but here we are. We got it. So what you do is it's in the Nerf Rebel line, so I know that much. And as you can tell, it's like really light because like there's hardly any plastic in it because they've really skeletonized a lot of it. So you take the strand and you actually click it back. Now you do have to make sure it's in this little tooth down here at the bottom. And the cool thing is that it has a safety, so you can't just dry fire it. You can imagine if that's cool or not. So, and you load in an individual dart, and then whoop. This is legitimately the quietest Nerf blaster I've ever heard, because all you hear is the click of the trigger, and then the dart hitting the blanket here. So it's got one-shot capacity. It's pretty quick reload if you practice with it. It tends to like new darts as opposed to old darts because the old darts kind of slip in it. But yeah, this is the Nerf Rebel pistol crossbow. I'll put up the name in just a moment, and I like it. I like it a lot, actually. So that's that one. I found this Boomco blaster. I don't have many of those other than the Halo ones. This is my first one that isn't, and this one's really weird. It's actually lever action. So I'm going to show you how to, well, one, it has these little shields on the side, so if you want to block your face, you can prevent getting hit. Now, it's really cool because it's lever action, and that's how you cock it. It has like three dart storage right here. The top barrel is the actual one. I just missed outright. So you have to cock it each time you want to shoot it. I love this action, y'all. It's actually really addictive. So let's go over here. So now we're out. I'm going to grab a couple more of my Boomco darts. So how you do that is that there's this little sub trigger down here that you hold on to get it to ratchet like that. You push down in. It does have a priming indicator right here in the back. And I guess this top rail is compatible with Boomco accessories. I don't know if Boomco accessories exist, but there you go. It's the Boomco, whatever this is called. I'll also put it up right here. I like that one too. Weird. So I got this blast from the past. It's a Busby Tech 5. So as you can imagine, it is a 5-shot revolver that has the cylinder exposed here. It's got a top priming arm right here. And this uses the old Busby dart. So as you can imagine, putting in an elite dart, it's a little bit too much. This little nub sticking up right here keeps it from rotating appropriately. But I do have an old Busby dart, so we're going to give it a shot here. I don't have many shots to try, unfortunately. I do have some of these knockoff Kroger darts, which I'll get into that in just a moment. That might work. I'm going to have to literally retrieve them as soon as I shoot them. So let's start on an empty chamber. Oh, I didn't even cock it. So it's not really working super well. That's what happens when you don't really have the original darts now, isn't it? It's the Busby Tech 5. It is a piece of history, but I don't have a lot of the darts that makes it work. So I'll be right back with those darts because I need those Busby darts. It's an okay pickup, admittedly. It's a nice piece of Busby history, but because it's not Nerf compatible, it's a little bit harder to use. So I'll be right back. Alright, so next we'll be going into another third-party blaster. It is called the Zuru X-Shot Rapid Fire, I believe. Zuru is a company based out of China that's been making these third-party blasters that are pretty decent. So if you notice, this is a 6-shot turret blaster, and it's a smaller platform than a strong arm. Very comfortable grip, very low profile. There's no rails, so to speak, or anything like that. And it's a simple single prime. Here, let's actually go over here real quick. So notice it doesn't really like to shoot AccuStrike. There you go. It seems to skip over every now and then. There doesn't seem to be like a locking mechanism to the turret, but it's really solidly built, to be honest. Like, I'm giving this one a little bit more because it's Zuru. It's not exactly a Nerf. But, like, honestly, this is a very good-sized blaster, and I know for certain these are at a very competitive price as far as Nerf is comparatively to Nerf. So keep an eye out for Zuru. They're coming on up. Now we'll move into a little bit bigger. I'll have the name for this one. I think it's the Codebreaker bow. And it shoots the same arrows as the Wrathbolt, the crossbow that I reviewed a little while back. And you load the cylinder right here, or I say cylinder, but like rotation mech. It holds about it has 8 notches total, but it holds, 6 really well. And it's actually band powered, which is very cool considering that most bow blasters are either like not actually powered by the elastic band or something like that. But yeah, so what the trigger does right here is it rotates the magazine and it drops an arrow down here into the firing chamber, and it lines up with the string, and then whap, there you go. So it's very cool. There's like a little sight right here. I'm going to point it out while pointing right down at you, and we'll go to the range. So now obviously if you tilt this forward while pushing down on the trigger, it'll drop the arrow out of it. I'll demonstrate that in just a moment. So you'll lose one, but in the meantime you can sit here and since it uses the same arrows as the Wrathbolt, there's some cross compatibility, so they're not super proprietary. This is a very cool bow. It's very big. It's definitely one that I like, and the rotation mech is super responsive, and I got this for like $4. What's up? So that is what I believe is the Codebreaker bow. Another bow blaster. We got the Nerf Crossbolt. So what it is a bullpup fed, magazine fed bow blaster. It actually does use the band here. So actually, every time I say that, I've seen people cut these arms off and use it for something else. So, oh, actually it is cocked right now. Or rather, hold on. So magazine goes back here. The magazine, releases right here, which is a little awkward because some people, when you're pushing up against it, you may be able to drop that mag, and it works just like that. So we'll go straight to the range. Very responsive prime. As you can tell, it actually does lock that band back. I can't tell you if they work or not, or if that's primarily what's making this work, or a string system, but it's I actually think it is, because you can see the dart loaded into the chamber down here. Maybe not with this lighting, but I promise you it's there. It's got one tack rail on the bottom. There's no stock attachment. There is a sling ring right here, which is nice. There's one down here, which is kind of an awkward place considering the magazine's right here too. There's no barrel attachment per se, but there is another sling ring up here too, and there's a front sight. So definitely one of the considerations is that it's a thumbhole style stock, and it gets kind of awkward to hold your arm. It's kind of like the Boomco the UNSC SMG in that sense, that like the placement of the thumbhole grip makes it a little awkward to hold and shoulder, but and it does not let you prime if it is dry. So I think it is bow powered, because most bow blasters don't like you to dry fire it, and there will be locks as a result. Magazine can come out no matter when, cocked or uncocked, whatever. And that's the Nerf Crossbolt. A lot of people don't seem to like it just based off of like the thumbhole stock, but if you can get past that, it's a very comfortable blaster. I imagine if you put like a foregrip on it, like bam, there we go. I just like bam, boom. I can't cock it because I don't have a magazine loaded, but you get the idea. So that is the Crossbolt. Very cool blaster. Another one that I have that I can't really fire too much is the Nerf Buzby Air Warriors Sidewinder. They've made new ones that are actually Nerf compatible, but this one is pre that, and the chamber is too short for Nerf Elite. But what it is a slam fire blaster in that, like, every time it, I believe it fires when you pull back, and then it rotates the drum when you pull forward. You might be able to tell. There we go. You also have an unjamming door over here, which if you single load, you should be able to get it to shoot. So I'm going to load in the one Buzby dart I have, and then a few of these. You can also free spin this, and I'm going to load in these Kroger knockoff darts that are almost the same length. And see if I can get this to fire a few times, because I have not been able to up to this point. So there we go. That should do it. Let's go to the range. Alright, so I didn't shoot it all. Oh, because these Kroger darts are screwing it up. Here, let's, I guess they call it an unjamming door for a reason, huh? Oh dear. Let's see if I can get at least, it didn't shoot that one Busby art, which it should have, but let's try to, or did it? Huh. Okay, it did, so let's get that back, huh? There we go. Let's put it back into position, and let's see how that works. So keep an eye out. I definitely missed it. There it is. So it fires when you prime back and then rotates when you pull forward. I like the way it's built. I like the way it looks. This trigger is fake. You don't use it at all. But I like the kind of stakeout style shotgun look. It's a little far forward of a grip and an awkward action. I would prefer it to be Nerf compatible, but I do think the later versions are. Because this is a very big capacity for it to not be Nerf compatible. You can also drop the drum with these two if you push down on these. This is the first time I've actually had that happen. Either way, you can replace the drum. Though, you know, if you have extra drums, cool. Otherwise, it's a big enough capacity for you to top off while you're... Obviously, you can't aim that very well because Slamfire tends to, like... I'm pantomiming with it. It's also not great for radio, so I'm going to put it down. It's a decent enough blaster. I just wish I had more darts for it. Since I've missed a week, why not just make a really big video about a lot of blasters all at the same time? So I know it's a lot of information to process. I'll probably cut this down at least a little bit. But, you know, thank you for watching. Thanks for putting up with me, I guess. And let's see, if my brother and I have a podcast, it's called Catch Up with Crab Legs. You can catch us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify. Just Googling us and listening to on our page on Pinecast. And yeah, so we just kind of talk about certain subjects that we bring up. It's usually a pretty good time. So if you check us out, we definitely appreciate the listen. So I also have an Etsy page where I post all my art. So I have these splatter paintings that are right behind me. And yeah, so it's kind of a pet project I've had for about 6 years now, and I really enjoy it. It's kind of a ballistic painting project. I have a few videos about it. I'll link one right up here in just a moment, and you can check that out. And I'll leave a link to my Etsy if you'd like to maybe pick one up. If you want to check me out on any social media, I have an Instagram, I have a Twitter, and I have a Snapchat. Snapchat's the third one, of course. And I'll leave those in the description down there below as well. I've kind of been a little bit closer to Instagram than I have been on YouTube lately, so I guess I can only focus on one at a time, weirdly enough. But yeah, I'll leave those in the description down below as well if you want to catch up with me there. That's all I have for this video, so thank you very much for watching. See ya!